Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, I've got a little bit lazy with my artwork, so I reused some of the art. But yes, it's the theme tonight is steaming up the pastures with romance. That's right. What do you think I meant? Steaming it up with the hot connection that we're seeing between people, the love, the passion. That we see on these internet couples. It just radiates off of the screen. You could just feel the heat, and you could just smell the love in the air. All right. And so tonight we've got some fun vids, and we're also going to have a new person tonight, a new subject, a new eccentric person. We talked about Cyraxx last time. We're not covering Cyraxx again. I just put his picture up there because I know how much people love it. This guy doesn't look as weird as Cyraxx, but in some ways he's a bigger creep in my opinion. But let's welcome everybody in. Oh, Icy847, have a great show tonight, Dr. Phil. I'm afraid I'm going to have to catch the replay. Well, we appreciate you, Icy, and I also would like to take a moment just to thank Icy for the $5 donation on the Cash App. Thank you very much, Icy. It is always appreciated. Donations are never required, but they are always happily accepted. Thank you for helping to sponsor the show, Icy. I appreciate it. And I'm also going to be setting aside in the beginning of every episode to try to thank anybody who I neglected to thank in the past. So hopefully I don't forget anybody. If I do, just please send me a message. Let me know, because I don't want to neglect anyone. And welcome into everybody. Welcome into anybody watching the replay as well. Hey, Archie, yalla. QZ, yeah, what's up? Docta is fashionably late. It's the heat and the humidity. I have always been a little bit fashionable. Oh, is that your silhouette there at the beach? Enjoying the summer heat. Hello, Elizu. Yeah, the bog swamp is full. The septic is going to overflow with all the passion on the farm. Hey, Jarella, glad you got in tonight. Not your average old lady, welcome in. Camps, good to see you. Smell the acrid sweat in the air. That's love. That's love in the air, Camps. Yes. Hello again, QZ. All right, well, I hope I've got a great show for you tonight. Let's just get right into it. I want to cover Chantel a little bit quickly. I want to cover ALR a little bit quickly. I think there's some fun stuff going on. And then I want to kind of get to the new guy. And then we may circle back a little bit, depending what's going on, if there's any new theories, interesting developments. So everyone, and please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. And please click subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I probably should mention this also for anyone watching the replay. If you really want to make sure you don't miss future episodes, be sure to click on that bell notification as well. Because otherwise, even if you're subscribed, it's not going to tell you when I go live. Just so you know. Okay, so let me share the screen here. One moment. Get this screen shared. Before I do that, let me put this on. All right, first, just a little quick highlights off Chantel, a little short vid. All right.
I don't know, Sunshine. I don't really have any plans to go, but
Yes, Drill. Thank you so much.
I have other plans right now. Well, we have other plans. So
Let me make sure the volume's up on here. It's a little bit quiet.
life is hard.
Oh, she's a little bit
Taking
quiet.
care of ourselves is a challenge. I lost 300 pounds. Life was a struggle bus before that. Yeah, for sure it would be so much easier to be lighter. Of course, you know.
This vid here, for anybody who's not familiar,
like
this is Chantel. This is the clips from her recent live that she just did, talking about the realities of how much weight she's gained, at least talking around it. And I think something that's really become apparent, people in the chat can tell me this, but these shadows around her eyes, that's not makeup, that's actual shading, because her hijab doesn't sit against the side of her face. She's gained so much her whole face is
the comment,
deformed
like
itself a little.
I won't answer part of it, like if I get abandoned, which I won't. But
Oh, welcome in, Hannibal. Good to see you, bro. Tangle Bliss, welcome in. Everybody can make it tonight. Oh, and Hannibal, if you'd like to post a link to your channel, you're very welcome.
I'm totally independent. I can take care of myself. But I would still wear the hijab.
Hannibal does a good show over on his channel as well. He covers a lot of the similar stuff, but has his own take on it. You want to get a different version of it?
Like, I'm Muslim, I'm reverted, I took my shahada, and that's nothing to do with Salah. You know, that's me. So I will not remove the hijab. Yes. She was a big girl too, and subhanAllah, she didn't eat massive meals or anything. Sometimes Allah just makes some people bigger. Oh, really?
I agree.
That sucks though. You don't even eat that much and you gain weight, eh? But yeah, you're right, Rebecca. Like,
I wish she was a little.
You can't think that.
I wish she was a little bit louder here. I'm having not even going fast. It's just very quiet on this video, folks. Sorry about that.
For Chantal, one day at a time. Yeah. One day at a time is like all I can handle right now. Yeah, gratitude will change your life. You know, you never worry, you never stress about not having enough. Comparing yourself to other people when your journey was like meant for you. You know, like you're just grateful for everything that you have in life.
Oh, thank you.
And you don't take it for granted when you're grateful.
Chantel talking about being grateful. I mean, hey, I'm glad she's grateful if she means it, right? But I don't know. Something about it makes me question that. Didn't seem too enthusiastic.
Yes.
I'm having trouble hearing her. Let me go back.
Being grateful is such a blessing. SubhanAllah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm very strict in my diet. Whatever I wanted, just a normal portion. Well, that's the idea. Like, I always bounce between, like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just trying to find my way. So whenever I, like, change up, or, I mean, especially for mukbangs, like, I don't even, like, show people what I eat the rest of the day, or what, you know, like, so, I mean, it just depends. Like, sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe I'll do moderation. Sometimes I'll do this. I don't.
Chantel's saying a whole lot of nothing.
Or even any exercise because I'm not in great shape. It sucks. Losing weight is hard for me because I can't walk much or even any exercise because I'm not in great shape. It sucks. Yeah, well, being sedentary, true teardrop, yeah. I'm like, I find it harder and harder too. Yeah. But, you know.
Not saying much in here.
I don't know. Exercise, not everyone can exercise.
All right, I have to disagree with Chantel there. Finally, I have something I can add. And looks jaundiced. Interesting. I can't say for sure, but I can't say she doesn't because she uses so many darn filters. Who can even say? I'm sure Salah would rather her be quiet. You know, I put this on because I thought it was going to be interesting, but I'm really not seeing anything interesting in this Chantel vid. This is just really...
Sincerely to give you good health and a life to your prayers. Yes, make dua, exactly. I used to think that too, and finding what works for you is important in my brain. If I say I'm going to refrain from... But sit down exercises, I mean, you know, they're pretty good.
Okay, here's something at least a little more interesting.
More easier said than done, exactly, yeah. But sit down exercises, I mean, you know, they're pretty good. If you've made any new local revert friends.
All right, Chantel here is talking about sit down exercises. All right, so you've seen it in a few videos. So it is possible then. Because I never could say for sure with all the filters. Here, I think Chantel's saying something a little more interesting. She's talking about sitting down and exercising. There's value to that. But I don't feel like Chantel's realistically doing that. Because if she was, she'd be telling us all about it. She wouldn't be waiting for somebody in chat to mention it. So I don't really believe she's doing that.
Wait. Sorta. Yeah. Pizza. I love pizza. The sodium in fast food. I know that's what's killing me. It's the fast food. The sodium. But it's addictive. It's hard to stop. Will I start cooking?
You know what, Oranges? I think we're gonna take your spoiler alert. I think we're just gonna. There's only 2 more minutes on this. This whole live is this is just the most boring live, even by Chantel's standards. So we're going to skip ahead to something a little bit more interesting. We've got ALR doing some cooking, but you know what? I think we're just going to skip ahead to the new guy because I think that's the interesting subject. And then we'll get back to ALR later because it's been slow as far as the Gorl's going. I mean, Becky came on lately to talk about ALR and their breakup, and it just wasn't really that much there either. So I think we're going to go to the new guy. That's really what I think is the more interesting. That's why I'm covering him tonight because frankly, it just hasn't, I mean, you know, there's a lot going on with Marty for a minute there, but Marty is temporarily sidelined. He's taking a couple sick days from what I hear. So if that's what he's doing, then there might be a slight hold on that activity. So what do we have here? We have a guy called Earl. Well, he puts his real name on the internet, Earl Doob, and he goes by the White Bowser. Let me share this screen 1 second. All right, this guy here. Yeah, ALR making slop again. ALR is going to be a fun one to watch, but I think I'm going to put that at the end because I feel like this is the more interesting subject for tonight. ALR is old reliable. Let's start out with the strong stuff, right? Did she? I didn't realize that. I mean, Julia's kind of a long hair cat from what I'm seeing. So I don't. I mean, it's just kind of odd that they have a long hair cat in that heat and they're not doing something to keep it a little bit cooler. But anyway, White Bowser. So who is White Bowser? I like to compare him to the original Chris Chan, CWC, Sonic Chew, back in the day. He's kind of a weird guy, but he's also a creep. Want to get that out of the way. So when I make fun of him somewhat, but I don't just make fun of him for being a little weird. I make fun of him more because he's just a very shameless guy. He's addicted to pornography. He's always trying to normalize it. He calls it anime, but it's really that anime porn is what it is. It's animated pornography. And he had his own, he was allegedly watching it with some teenage, let me let this thing go. You'll hear it. Let me let you guys hear. But anyway, White Bowser, he's a real mess. And I think he's interesting. I think he's kind of like Cyraxx in the sense that he's a very interesting character. Yeah, so let's watch a little bit here of White Bowser. He's also very short. Not that it matters. Being short doesn't make you bad or anything, but I just wanted to point that out. He's also kind of short. He's like 5'5". Oh, and the funniest thing about this guy is he thinks he's so smart. He brags about how he has 110 IQ and how he's the smartest guy. Right? In fairness, with the afro, he's more like 5'6", I think. I love the title of this. Oh, and let me give a link to the channel, by the way. I don't want to neglect that. This channel here is a pretty good channel. I don't watch them all the time, but I do watch them sometimes. They're called Kiwi Tapes. They do good little mini documentaries type things on eccentric internet characters. I don't make any endorsement of the channel or the owner. I don't really know them, but I know that I enjoy some of their vids. And this is a vid that I think is a good one, so let me put a link to it. I've known about White Bowser for a while now. I actually know about him since pretty much they first found him, and he first gained notoriety. So yeah, Lisa, he couldn't get laid if he went to Honolulu. Yeah, he does look like an incel, definitely. And he acts like one. It's not just the look, it's the acting. You know, he's got the whole Pete's vibe.
Some of you may have seen me on live stream with this guy before. You may think you know the story behind what he has done, but like an onion, the more layers we peel back, the stinkier it gets. No one knew what he had done to his underage coworker. No one knew he was the owner of a Discord server full of minors at the age of 30. No one knew the truth. Until recently, we thought.
Oh, and let me do this. I'm not restricting tonight's show because I don't. There's nothing pornographic. There's nothing that there's nothing that's obscene. But you know, I don't think there's any kids watching. But if there are, go get your parents. Make sure you're at least 18. Just there's some adult subjects being discussed. And I guess I should say trigger warning. I don't recall anything in specific, but just in case, just putting that out there. Don't want anybody to say I didn't adequately warn people of the content. I don't want to surprise folks. But I don't expect there to be anything horribly obscene or anything. It's nasty, it's creepy, it's maybe even a little bit uncomfortable, but we're not going to have to see anything disgusting.
Thought the White Bowser was just a terrible guy who had said awful things. We thought this was all about cartoons, and that could not have been farther from the truth. Earl Doobie, otherwise known as the White Bowser, was hidden among us for quite some time. He was a fan of fellow YouTuber Smokey MCC's, and a member of his old Discord server, The Smoke Shack. There you could find the White Bowser at any hour of the day, almost every day.
Okay, yes.
Either posting...
I do have to address this, Camps. We don't have proof. We don't have proof. I don't want to say somebody is something, so we're going to say allegedly. We're going to say he's allegedly a creep. That's the best way to put it. He's confessed to some creepy stuff. And as time goes on, what really makes him a creep is he kind of goes into like a very strong deniability mode. And he's also really weird and he's annoying. Like if he wasn't a creep, he would still be an annoying guy. Like he started off as like trying to troll other people. He started off by, well, I'll let Smokey tell it. But he started off by just messing up other people's video games. That's how he got started. That was his original thing.
About how much his life sucked or trashing on anyone else's opinions that he himself did not hold. Sure, people would disagree with him and debate him, but it wasn't anything more than that, until the White Bowser said some things that really made him some enemies. One day he would be in a voice chat, a very common thing for Bowser, and jokingly someone asked him the most important question of this whole ordeal.
Hey Ariel, welcome in. We're watching, actually, since it's been a slow week in Gorl World, we're actually watching a new character tonight, a White Bowser here. He's a bit of a creep. Just want to put that out there. So if you'd rather not see it, you understand. But he does some creepy stuff. But he's also very a real clown. He's just a dope. From Nintendo, from Nintendo. He got his name from a video game, of course, right? But it's because he played a character in a game and he would just go around messing up everybody else's game. That's basically all he would do. But let's let it's funny.
Earl, what kind of not safe for work content are you into? He would immediately list 2 anime that he watched in that regard.
Oh yeah, here's how he got started. Everybody got known. He became known to people. He was asked something about what anime do you like to watch, and this is what he said.
This whole ordeal. Earl, what kind of not safe for work content are you into? He would immediately list 2 anime.
Hello, Fiona's mom. I'm sorry for everybody to keep pausing. Fiona's mom, this is different from my usual weekly content. Thank you. I'm glad you make it in, though. Welcome in. This week we're actually covering. It's been a slow week in Gorl World, so we're covering somebody who's a bit of a wild card. He's a bit of a creep. He's a bit of a weirdo. He's a bit of a Christian, a bit of a Cyraxx, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, but he's just a weirdo and a creep, and so I can understand if this isn't your usual cup of tea. But we're doing something different tonight because it's been very slow in Gorl World, in my opinion.
That he watched in that regard. Freezing, a show about genetically modified teens, and Tawawa on a Monday, a show about a girl in high school being groomed by a salesperson in their 20s.
Yeah.
The White Bowser would be immediately grilled by the fellow members of the voice chat about how these characters were underage, and that watching them in that context is very creepy. This would lead to the first utterance of the now infamous line, "They're just cartoons." The White Bowser believes that because these characters...
And I think this raises, and again, I'm pausing it so much, but I think this raises a bigger question, though. These kind of cartoons. Why why are these kind of cartoons even being made? I mean, I know Japan has a right to make what they want. It's their own country, their own laws. But this is the kind of stuff, this is not the kind of stuff that should be imported. I mean, I guess it's being sold on the internet. I don't know. But this whole thing creeps me out.
Characters are fictional, it doesn't matter what age they are. Another common excuse that Bowser uses is that he and his friends would watch these shows together when he was in college. Both of these excuses did very little to stem the incoming tide of questions from the fellow members of the voice chat, causing Earl to leave soon after. That was when the people who had spoke to him began the long and still ongoing process of digging up anything and everything in Bowser's past. But before they had begun to even scratch the surface, Earl made another statement equally as repulsive as the first. A fellow member of the Discord was a vet, and he was talking about some of the struggles he faced after coming home because he served overseas and he had seen some things. Earl, a 30-year-old man who has never served, in fact he makes pony music videos, told the vet that if his life was so bad, he should just end it. Naturally, this infuriated everyone who heard about it, everyone who saw it, and I gotta say the manpower behind looking into Earl had to have tripled after that. Bowser would be banned from the Discord after the mods found out about this, not before he told multiple other people to do the same thing to themselves.
So just want to start it off with that. Nobody's perfect. Sometimes people get angry, they say rude things, but they're just kind of giving an intro on all the ways Bowser kind of alienated people when he first started out. He first came into this community looking to just kind of pick on Cyraxx and pick on other people. He just had like kind of a bad attitude from day one. But then he was very pushy and he talked about a lot of weird stuff. And then he became very aggressive and threatened people and cursed them and told them all kinds of just really nasty stuff. And just went around alienating all these people and talking about how great he was. So yes, Maggie, it is a new person in the pasture. We'll put it like that. A new cow in the pasture.
And after this, Bowser would take to Twitter, adding Smokey, saying that his community had kicked him out with no reason at all, going on to not only threaten multiple people trying to explain it to him, but also revealing the town that he lived in. People swiftly found almost all of his personal information, as he had made it extremely easy to find. His full name was in his YouTube description, for Christ's sakes. This would lead the investigators to a Reddit post made by the White Bowser. It was called "The Day My Life Turned Into an Anime."
So this is a good example of Bowser here. Was very open discussing all this weird, creepy stuff, and now we're going to hear some of the. And this raises a bigger issue here. These anime cartoons with this very weird, suggestive topics. The way he talks about it is he's normalized the stuff in the anime. He thinks that that's normal, and he thinks that there's something wrong with people who don't think it's normal. Let's let him explain it here. How his life turned into an anime. Let's let him explain it.
This post would go on to describe how when Earl was working at a movie theater, he had groped a coworker in what he calls an accident. He claims they all put their hands in a circle, threw them up in the air, and when his hand came down, it happened to land on his coworker's chest. We would not know that she was 17 until much later. Let me read you guys a little bit of this post. She turned around faster than lightning and said, "You better hustle." And yes, I'm not even sure that is what she said. I don't remember. Also, when she turned around at breakneck speed, my hand moved from grabbing the back of her shoulder to the front of her chest. And yes, this all happened within the span of 5 seconds. When she stormed off, I was just standing in shock with all my coworkers behind me, and they were all looking at me, and all I could say was, I should not have done that. The rest.
Just this whole thing, it doesn't feel like an accident if he immediately realizes he shouldn't have done that. It's an accident is whoops, hand slipped, immediately pulled it away. This doesn't sound like that to me. This doesn't sound like that to me.
The rest of the night went off very awkwardly. I started cleaning my station and couldn't find the girl I touched anywhere. A few minutes later, my boss told me to go home. So I drove home, saying in my head, what just happened? What did I just do? I was told I can no longer linger at the movie theater, even if it's to say hi to old friends. I was also told that because of the accident that had happened with that girl, that I now gave her PTSD. If this is the case, you will no longer see me come to the movie theater as a customer. This will be my final message to all my friends I made. If forgiveness and reconciliation cannot be fabricated between this situation, then I would rather go to a different movie theater. I cannot go to a place where I know I ruined someone's life and mental well-being. Please do not reply to this message. Just take it knowing that I need to move on if I'm going to improve myself and become a better person.
Okay, that was a long thing there. That was a long thing. And also, I want to respond to some of these comments. QZ, that is a very, I believe that. I have some friends who, they're not Japanese, but they're Asian. They've been to Japan. And I have friends who've been to Japan from, they're Westerners. And they've told me that there's a lot of very, well, I don't want to be judgmental of what goes on over there. I'll just say there's a lot of seedy stuff. I'll just say it like that. A lot of weird, seedy stuff. Yeah. Weird, seedy stuff. Definitely. I don't know. I'm not going to say this guy reminds me of a killer, but he does remind me of a creep. He's definitely a creep. I don't know the guy you're talking about, Archie, but maybe if I knew him, I might agree. I don't even know. And welcome in, Rosalind. Tonight, Gorl World's a bit slow this week, so we're bringing on a different guy. Some of you may know, some of you may not. Probably, I mean, maybe the only one he ever will. I figured you'd know him, Hannibal. Oh, well, that's cute though. That's cute. That's not bad. That's actually cute. Hey, Susie Q, welcome in. Yeah. Oh, Camps lived in Osaka in the 80s. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to be polite and tiptoe around it, but I've heard, I'm sure you know far better than me, but I've heard some weird stuff. I just don't want to get too off topic, but yeah, I've heard some. It's like there's a lot of legalized sexual activity over there. And when stuff is legal, a lot of illegal stuff develops around it. And I'm not going to go into any more, but I just heard like a lot of weird, freaky stuff in Japan. Freakiness goes on there. Just going to say it like that. Hey, Blue Eyes, welcome in. Welcome in, Kidney J. Oh, and I told Kidney J I would sing. Pink berry, 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's get fancy. Yeah, you watch that you watch that Japanese stuff there, they're gonna watch you. Skinny, that's a good question. And I'm gonna say I think part of it is that we're just more aware. But I do think that the mainstreaming and the explosion of mainstream pornography is part of the problem, I think. So I think that's an issue. But that's a topic for another show. So let's get back onto it. Yeah, Speed Racer's cute. That's like such a cute, like that's like having that's like a guy having a crush on Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something when he's a kid. It's cute unless he's 30, and then it's kind of weird. Buying a ticket to Japan. I've lost enough weight. At least I can fit in the seat for that legal stuff. Yes, exactly. Only. Now, seriously, I wouldn't mind going to Japan, but I'm not for any of that weirdness though. I would go there more for just like the regular culture. Okay, let's get on before it gets too before I do have to make this 18 plus.
Thank you and goodbye. When this was found, things began to change rapidly. Not only was Bowser beginning to acquire some of his very first trolls, but myself and Smokey were informed of the situation, and that's where we come in. Someone had convinced the white Bowser that Smokey was in a content farming ring with Cyraxx and Music Biz Marty, accusing Smokey of paying Cyraxx to fake his rages, saying that Smokey was a predator just like Rax. Bowser had zero evidence for all this, just the word of a troll. And after making a video calling Smokey all of these things with absolutely no evidence, he got my full attention. And when I ran...
Okay, so this is just one more piece of the introduction. So Bowser, after he kind of soured the community around him with Smokey's crew, he decided to turn his back on them and kind of try to say, hey, Smokey, this group of people who don't like me, they're actually creeps and weirdos and paying Cyraxx. And he decided to attack these people basically just because he didn't like them. Oh, yes, thank you very much, Hannibal. Yes, everyone, if you're enjoying the show, please click that like button. And if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment. If you have something to say, of course. And yes, Maggie, I think that's a very good point. That social media, you know, in the old days, if there was some weird creep, he would live by himself in some, I don't know, in some motel or something, or wherever. Now he could get all those weirdos in their motels are all talking to each other on the internet. So I think you're right. I think that's the problem. They used to be isolated problems. Now they're all interacting and coordinating in a way. So yeah, I think that's unfortunate and true. Welcome in, Naughty Rudolph. And welcome in to anybody I've missed. Welcome in, Durka Herka Burka. I like that name. And there goes the picture too. You're new. Well, you're welcome here, Durka Herka Burka. Hope you enjoy the show. It's a little slow in Gorl World this week, so I'm introducing folks to a new Creep of the Week. That's what I should call this, the Creep of the Week. Bowser, the White Bowser in particular. And why do I call him Bowser? Because he has a really pronounced speech impediment, and I can't believe we haven't had a chance to hear it yet. But when you hear his speech impediment, you will know it's unforgettable. It's very strong. He's like a lisp almost.
And across him streaming Genshin Impact one day, I decided to restream him. And when he found out about this, his chat started asking him to hop on panel with me. And with a lot of help, he agreed, but only because he expected me to pay him at the end. But during this stream, Bowser would be thrown a curveball. We would bring on the troll who had told him Smokey was in this content farming ring in the first place, who would almost immediately tell Earl that it was all a lie.
To Wawawa on a Monday and Freezing. Those were the two animes I brought up. Those are the only two animes I brought up.
Describe each of these anime.
To Wawawa on Monday is about, you know what's hold on.
I still don't know what the real name of that cartoon is. Is it Tawawawa or Tararara or Tawawara? I don't know, because he has such a heavy lisp. I can't tell what the name is. He keeps calling it Tawawawa on a Monday. What is the actual name? Tawawawa? I don't know. I still don't know.
Can you look up if they actually say how old I-Chan is?
We can't look it up because we don't even know the name.
I don't want that on my search history, bro.
Well, that's the thing. They never say how old she is in the anime. They just say she has big tits.
What does that have to do with anything, bro? What does that have to do with what we're talking about right now?
I guess I probably should give a brief content warning. Nothing too terrible, but just, some rude language. Expect some rude language, some sexual language. Hopefully nothing too explicit.
Because that's the thing. If you're gonna throw out that a random drawing of someone who could be any age has the biggest tits ever, then how can you call that something that's part of reality?
I just wanted you to describe this anime to me, and you're going on about big tits.
Fine, I'll concentrate. Tawawa Monday is about a girl. Well, I don't even not sure if I call her a girl or a woman, because once again they don't tell us what Tawawa's age is. But Tawawa Monday is about a woman whose boobs won't stop growing, and she has a little sister. Then there's a wife who has an H cup and all this other crap about big tits, and it's just a bunch of tomfoolery, really.
So what, you have some evidence against Smokey?
Yeah, man. Smokey, it's clearly Smokey's farming content, guys. Come on.
Well, I'm glad he's explained the cartoons now. They don't sound creepy at all. Now that he's explained them, they don't sound at all like weird, creepy sex cartoons, right? Right? Now they sound like perfectly normal. Like I thought these were weird, creepy sex cartoons. But now that he's explained it, yeah, like these are clearly not weird, creepy sex cartoons. What the hell?
I mean, I saw your screenshot, but I mean, what else can you tell me about it?
All I'm saying, man, is I don't know how White Bowser could believe any of that.
Mr. Doobie, are you still there?
So you were a double agent the whole time?
And right after, Bowser would do something that would take every single person by surprise. He wanted a platform where he could share his excuses with a wide audience. And after I re-streamed him, I think he believed I was on his side, because a day later, I got an offer to start a weekly podcast called 110 Autism, a name that he chose, and to run it every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. All this after what he had said about a friend of mine.
Hey, Alizu, not cool. You got to put a spoiler alert on that. Apparently, that's the entire plot. Is he drinking chocolate milk? I hope it's chocolate milk. Maybe it's just mud. Does he live in his mom's basement? Can you call it living? But, I mean, I see a window, so it's probably not a basement. But 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Needless to say, I accepted. Before we go forward, I want to take it back a little bit and share some info from Bowser's past that helps establish a pattern. Back in 2017, Bowser was deep in the brony community, and he would make pony music videos, or PMVs for short. And at BronyCon,
And if anyone is enjoying the content, you want to sponsor the show, you'd like to see more content like this, you're always welcome to hit that Cash App. Thank you very much thank you very much again to Icy for your contribution earlier tonight. Much appreciated.
2017, the same one that Chris Chan attended, Bowser would go on to be one of the finalists in their PMV competition. And when it was revealed that the winner of the competition had attempted to take their own life weeks after winning, Earl would take to r/p.
Yeah, let me just get that out of the way. If any, I know it's a touchy subject for some people, but if somebody taking their life is upsets you very much, just don't listen for a few minutes. Oh, maybe don't listen for the whole episode if it really, really upsets you, but just ignore us for a minute. Welcome in, Lady Nighthawk. Hopefully you're driving to work. Oh, you do the night shift. Well, hopefully you have a great night at work. Those sound so. I saw those the other day. It was hard not to buy them.
PMV, and call the winner of the competition not only selfish, but also threatening them in the process. He would be swiftly kicked out of the PMV subreddit, becoming a pariah of the community. Another example of Earl being ran off would be the subreddit r/bigboobs, where Earl would not only stalk women, but he would also harass them for not posting NSFW content and actually having real problems they wished to discuss. Now you may be asking yourself, Kiwi Tapes, why are you telling me all this? It's because Bowser has a long history of mistreating communities and then running off once he's called out for his terrible behavior.
Oh, I wanted to point that out too. And I probably should have said this when it first showed up on screen, but when he lost his job at the movie theater after groping his coworker, he claims was an accident, which doesn't sound at all like an accident to me. He made that whole big post about how sorry he was and he was going to have to go to a different movie theater now because he didn't want to upset anybody. He made it like totally about himself and about how he had to go to another theater and about how bad he felt and everybody mistreated him. And if he really felt bad about it, he should have just left it alone. If it was really like that bothersome to people, dragging it back up just to throw a pity party is not the right thing to do. So I understand totally what they mean when they talk about him using communities like his own personal therapist.
almost always seeking some form of revenge against them. Which leads us to the first episode of the White Bowser and Kiwi Tapes' podcast. And when the podcast began, we brought on Smokey.
sure.
And after Smokey dismantled every point that Bowser made...
Well, Camps, let me, this is the perfect time to say this. How do you get the name the White Bowser? He used to play a video game called Smash Brothers, and there's a character in there, Bowser. Same character from the Mario Brothers game. And it's like a little fighting game. And anyway, Bowser has this move where you can grab another character and kill both of you guys at the same time. Basically, just to mess up your game. Because you could do it to help yourself, but you could also do it just to screw other people up. And that's what he would do. He would just show up in strangers' games and just mess up their game and just screw with them. And he called himself the White Bowser because he always played that same character who never used any skill, never tried to win a match. All he did was screw with other people who played. To just tell you a little bit about this guy and how messed up he is. And I understand kids do stupid stuff, but he's made it his identity. Jeez, wow. Maybe he was related.
In all his videos, I began to bring people who had had previous interactions with Bowser onto the panel as well. All while telling Earl that they had paid to be there and he had to sit through it all because we weren't scammers. Being that he thought he was getting paid, he had no choice but to sit there and endure all of their criticisms. And when a guest named Cow Wrangler began telling Bowser some very hard truths, he had a very physical reaction.
Well, this is deplorable behavior, Mr. Bowser. You're like Cyraxx.
I am, and Mr. Chandler, as you can tell, this man in particular preys on women because he's a no good.
That's a good question, Archie. Why? Oh, I thought you said, how do I know? Why do I know? Why do I know? Because I always enjoyed that Maury Povich, Montel Williams, Jenny Jones, Sally Jesse Raphael, I said Montel Williams, all those shows. I loved those shows when I was growing up with all these crazy people doing crazy stuff. Dr. Phil. Look at my name, Dr. Phil. I've always loved that like kind of wild, eccentric stuff. And yes, an online griefer. That's the right word for it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's all he was. So yeah, I've always just enjoyed watching that kind of just, I don't know, like some people like true crime. I like watching true life. You know, it's like watching The Real World on MTV, but it's real, but they're wild. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's interesting. It's like a zoo, kind of. But yeah, it's about the best I can explain it. Hannibal understands. We're like it's like being an explorer in a sense.
Generate. The fact that he likes to praise that he's a Catholic, he's a good, righteous man is bullshit.
Exactly, yes.
He is nothing more than someone who uses the name just to feel big and good about himself. He likes to go into those subreddits and preach and pray and try to look holy. Bowser, God doesn't like you. You have made people miserable.
Oh, man. I want to go smoke a cigarette.
You will be remembered not as a good man, but as someone who scares women, who scares people, who goes around and spreads his degeneracy without anyone wanting it. And I'm just going to emphasize it again. Chihuahua does say that I is.
That's Cow Wrangler, Blue Eyes. I don't know who Cow Wrangler is, but Cow Wrangler is so good at like talking to Bowser. Bowser, like Cow Wrangler has Bowser's number. And for some reason, I think maybe Cow Wrangler knows Bowser in real life or something, because I can't, for whatever reason, Cow Wrangler just talks to him like they're his parent. Just knows him so well. Just it's hilarious.
It emphasizes that she's in high school, and you still jerked off to it.
I mean, I looked at the wiki. I mean, it does say that.
Is that true, Bowser? Is Chihuahua 15?
Oh, I actually sent you the link to the wiki, Kiwi. So I figured that would help you out a little bit.
Okay.
I sent it to everyone in here, I believe, because I wanted to make sure that everyone was well aware of who they were talking to. And that girl, besides from her obnoxious breast, looks like a child. She looks like a 15-year-old. Her friends look like children. So the fact that you sexualize her and you make comments about dreaming about turning into her is so interesting.
Are you fucking done? Please fucking. I mean, she's
No, I think. But, fellas, I don't mean to exacerbate the wound here.
Away, fucking stop!
Well,
defend yourself.
Guys.
And this porn addict, another great thing about this guy is he calls everybody else a drug addict. Meanwhile, he's all geeked up on pills that he buys. I don't know where he gets them. He says he gets some kind of black market Adderall or something that he takes. He admitted that to somebody, and he calls other people drug users.
Bowser, come on.
Go ahead,
fucking hell, fucking stop!
Bowser, come on, dude. Remember, like I said, dude, this is a podcast. We're just chilling.
Yeah.
Just take some breaths. You want to take a commercial break? Do you want to take a commercial break?
We'll be right back
Bowser?
after these messages. We'll be good.
Come on,
we can
dude.
take a minute. We can take a minute.
Take a quick commercial break. There's nothing the matter. Everything's fine. It's just a cow wrangler. Remember what we said about the goon? The goon's a goon. The cow wrangler's a cow wrangler. Just take some breaths. We'll read some comments. Jay Adverse with the 15. Jesus, Jay, thank you so much.
The thing is about Bowser, he needs to understand. If you're in that situation where somebody's telling you off and you're in the wrong, either listen and be quiet or just go. Don't stand there and argue with them when the whole reason you're there is to allegedly to apologize.
So much, man. Me and Bowser are going to be eating great. Bowser, you need to take this as a wake-up call and to taste things that come if you continue doing what you're doing. Recognize all your faults. It's not what the end of the world. We're just reading comments, dude. We can't shit on the don't. These people are our bosses, Bowser. Deep breaths. We're going to keep going. Another 5 from...
Oh, and that's actually the channel. I got this from Kiwi Tapes, who's friendly with Smokey. And those are the two people who kind of interview Bowser. And Wrangler is the one who, with the high-pitched voice, is really tearing into him.
Steve from Machete Squad. Bowser, how does it feel knowing that you screwed up for the rest of your life? He's got to be a villain.
Definitely a villain.
Yeah, this is too good.
And his crying is so fake.
I see Mr. Bowser so excited. He's crying tears of joy.
Bowser, what's up? What's up, Bowser? Do we need to take a 5-minute break, Bowser? All right, here's what I'm going to do, Bowser. I'm going to put you in the back for a little bit and let you calm down. Let Kay come in here.
Yeah.
Is that all right? All right. We'll see you here in a bit.
When he
He's
finished
so
blowing
fake.
his nose, he would return, to me reading extremely critical donations. Since I had to keep up the facade of being a loyal co-host, I took great pleasure in reading these. And the parade of Bowser haters continued when I brought in another person who had interacted with Bowser, a man named Zippity, who proceeded to grill Earl so hard that Earl began to pray to God for help.
I just want to bring up, he constantly says that he was fired from the, not fired, yeah, he quit from the cinema job. I just went and I was able to found an archive of the Reddit post. He straight up says he was fired. He straight up says his boss yelled at him in anger and that all the females that he was working around, females, I sound like an incel saying that, but that's what he said, were uncomfortable around him and that they didn't like him working there. There's also other Reddit posts where he...
My question is, though, was that before or after he groped somebody? Because I can't imagine anybody who's ever comfortable around this guy. He's an online griefer. He's just such a he's jacked up on that black market speed. He's watches that weird creepy anime. He watches that weird creepy anime with teenagers. Like he actually has friends on the internet who are young and he watches it with them. Yeah, that's another thing you're going to find out. This guy is such a creeper.
The most spiteful, ignorant piece of shit and talking down to anyone who disagrees with him.
And that's a good point, Archie. I think that's why I used to enjoy watching those reality shows with Murray and Dr. Phil and all them. I think I'm blessed to live a pretty decent life. I thankfully don't know a lot of creeps and perverts. I'm blessed. I don't want to know a lot of creeps and perverts. But yet, it's still interesting just to kind of know about that these people exist. They exist, but we never see them. So watching, getting a view into this guy's life, or getting a view into Chantel's life, the view of somebody like that eating themselves to death. It's just something that I'm not going to see normally, and it's so out of my personal experience that it's something that I want to know about. And it's just, where else am I going to get this real unfiltered info, direct from the source kind of stuff?
With the most smug attitude. Oh, you guys are just sinners, because that's the way he fucking operates. This disingenuous, you're trying to give human rights to cartoons shit is fucking the most obvious, transparent shit ever. No one in the fucking history.
I mean, the way he does this whole performance, where he's running around the room with his hands on his ears and screaming and the crying, he put himself on camera. This isn't like they locked him in a room with a camera in there. This is a video feed that he connected himself. He wants everybody to see this. He likes putting on this performance. I don't know whether he likes being degraded or if he thinks he can make people pity him or what it is, but he's doing this. It's all performative. He could just turn off the camera and silently do whatever he wants. Nobody'd have to see him making a fool of himself. But yet he intentionally wants us to see this for some odd reason.
Of this interaction has ever said that. We are calling him out and saying that he is creepy for looking at depictions of underage girls. I just remembered. My favorite Reddit post about that was deleted by the fucking moderators of the post. It was Daddit, and he went. I don't remember. There was the post itself is deleted, but a lot of the comments are still there. And from the context, it's fucking creepy. And a lot of people are asking why his pretend daughter that he doesn't have sees him as a fucking god. That is in the fucking. It's most insane shit fucking ever.
All throughout the show, Bowser is defending his actions, saying he groped his coworker on accident, saying that the age of cartoon characters didn't matter because they were fictional, while at the same time backtracking everything he had said previously, saying that he didn't watch those characters in an illicit way, and saying that he never told anyone to off themselves. All lies, something that he seems very comfortable with. What he isn't quite so comfortable with is the truth. And when I brought Cow Wrangler back in for round 2, Earl would have another negative reaction to being told the truth.
Can I just say one thing I wanted to add in here really quick? If this was such an accident, Bowser, why do you have a history of preying on women?
I don't.
Oh, you do, Bowser. In fact, you do. It's actually really well documented. There's a cosplayer. There's the Reddits that you've been ran out of. And let's not forget that the girl that you groped. So you clearly have a history where you're going.
I fucking don't, you fucking psychopath!
His tantrums that he throws. Yeah. QZ, his parents, I know a little bit about them. As far as I know, his father's not in his life. I don't know if he ever was, but he hasn't been for some time. I know that. His mother, he lives with his mother, I believe. He and his mother seem to have kind of an okay relationship, but it seems like she just kind of ignores him. Like, I don't think she wants to know what a mess he is. So it's almost, I get the impression that she kind of turns the other way and looks the other way because she doesn't want to see what a mess this guy is. He does work a steady job, so he's probably contributing some money or something. So that might be it too. He brings in a little check or whatever. She doesn't want to, whatever. He doesn't cause too much trouble, maybe to her. I don't know. I really don't know. But she seems to put up with this. That's for sure.
Bowser would leave soon after, and the very first episode of 110 Autism would end. And in the week leading up to episode 2, me and Smokey were trying to formulate some kind of a game plan. Being as Bowser threatened so many of us legally, we thought it would be hilarious to host a mock court where the chat would be the jury. To be honest, this was the last time we planned on interacting with Bowser. We didn't think there was anything else to be uncovered. So when episode 2 began, we came right out of the gate.
That's another great thing to point out. That at this point, Bowser, they were basically, these people, they like to joke around and make spectacles, but I'm not going to say that they're vindictive. I don't get the impression from Smokey or Kiwi Tapes, either of those guys. They don't seem vindictive to me. Like they pick somebody to cause trouble to. Bowser just kept on digging the hole for himself, and let's hear how he did it. Because after that last time, it didn't go well. So what did he do? Hide, apologize. He decides he's going to come back on for more of that same whatever that was.
Asking him every uncomfortable question under the sun. His defense being it was all in the past and he wants to move on. Episode 2 cleared up a lot of confusion for me, because Bowser would talk about a movie theater incident that wasn't even related to when he groped his coworker. It turns out weeks before the podcast had even began, Bowser had seen a YouTube comment under one of his videos telling him to probably not return to the movie theater he groped his coworker at. Bowser took this as a threat, immediately jumping in his car and running down to the movie theater, warning everyone that they had to get out of there because it was dangerous, costing taxpayers thousands of dollars and surely putting him on some kind of watch list. This is also the episode where I learned Bowser...
Yeah, apparently somebody told him not to go to the movie theater. He intentionally, I believe he intentionally misinterpreted that as a violent threat so that he could go to the theater and try to be a hero and say that and get the place evacuated and get the law enforcement to come in like he was going to save the day. In reality, he just perpetrated a hoax. And yeah, I think you're right, Hannibal. I think that's probably, I mean, we could be wrong, but that's my guess as well. And welcome in, Blondie. Glad you could make it. Oh, and Rudy, good to see you, bro. Hope you're well.
Bowser is a racist. When he was fired from the movie theater for groping his coworker, he contacted his old friend from college, Ricky, a black man. Earl was down on himself and he wanted a little bit of support from Ricky, who told Earl that he was too good for that job and he could surely find one much better. Earl proceeded to call Ricky the hard R, and after that, their friendship of many years ended. After learning all of this and letting everyone else have their fun, at the end of episode 2, I told Bowser exactly what I thought about him, in what I truly thought was going to be our last encounter.
Bowser?
Welcome in, Grateful Life, and I have to agree with that. If the parents, how they raise their kids is important, and if you don't raise your kids, that's the same thing as raising them badly. I mean, in a way. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's differences, but there's similarities.
I just want you to know, I do not like you. You are a pedophile. You are everything that these people call you. And the fact that that you came to me and wanted to start a podcast with me, knowing the kind of shit that I cover, is fucking hilarious. And if you think that you're ever gonna talk to me again, or you're gonna get anything out of me, well, you're going to be waiting for quite a few chihuahuas on a Monday. We'll put it like that. I'm never talking to you again. This podcast is never getting another episode. What about payment?
The wow. Did you see the wow on his face? Like he didn't realize that this was all a big troll. He's like, this podcast is never getting another episode. And Bowser's like, wow. We're not going to do the podcast anymore? He thinks that this guy's his friend doing a show with him. And it's only now dawning on him that it's not actually his buddy. Yeah. See that wow one more time.
I'm never talking to you again. This podcast is never getting another episode.
Wow.
What about payment?
Yeah, and what about payment?
After the end of the show, I received this
and he asked for payment, then he hung up on him. That's how you handle a guest like Bowser.
Message from Earl. And I thought this had all come to an end. Little did I know, it was just the beginning. I was told by a friend that we were just scratching the surface of what Bowser had done, and if we could convince him that I had been trolled into believing he was a predator, that we could get the podcast back on track. And we could talk about the anime Discord server full of minors that he owned. This whole time, Bowser was the owner of an anime Discord server called Laugh Tale. On the surface, it appeared to be a Discord server for anime and anime music videos. But what it turned out to be was so much darker.
Discord. Somebody earlier, I don't remember who, mentioned that the reason why they think there's more creeps on the net is because of all the social media. And I think you're right. I mean, I don't think that's the only reason, but I think that's a contributing factor because it makes it so much easier. Look at this guy. In the past, if he wanted to meet some underage women, some underage girls, he would have to go expose himself. He'd have to go wander around the mall, or who knows what he would do. Now he could just have his website or his Discord server with his anime cartoons, and he could just post some links, and some teenage girl might show up, and she doesn't realize that he's on the other side of that screen. She might think it's some normal she might think it's some cute teenage guy.
The server was full of minors, some being as young as the age of 14. And it turns out that Earl and the other adults on the server were sharing illicit materials with these minors. The White Bowser stating numerous times that he himself showed not safe for work content to people under the age of 18. Bowser and his mod team would also take to having the fellow members of the server call them Daddy, Earl's username being Daddy Butcher,
That's
in a
creepy.
server full of children. Being as Earl had committed a crime here and people knew his full name and address, they reported this information to the proper authorities, who swiftly said it wasn't enough. So getting Bowser to reveal more was priority number one. So
And I want to say,
decided-
and I want to say respect to Kiwi Tapes and Smokey. I don't know if they're the ones who reported it, but a lot of times we'll hear about people on the internet doing weird, creepy stuff, but then nobody ever reports it. And it just ends up being these rumors of really horrible stuff, but it's still just rumors. If somebody really believes that somebody's doing something really disgusting, it's criminal, then they should report it. Get them, try to stop them. Don't just talk about it like a rumor. If you really believe it's true. So respect for them for reporting it. If the police said there wasn't enough evidence to act on, okay. But at least they took the steps to do that. It's not like they said, "Oh, this guy's a criminal," but we're not even going to bother to report him. If you really believe somebody's doing something, then take steps to stop them.
I decided to tell him that I was trolled into believing that he was a predator. And after being insulted numerous times, he agreed to come back to the show. Going back on this decision 2 or 3 times, I had to do episode 3 without him because of this. And I needed a co-host, so I could think of no one better than Smokey. Though Bowser did not appreciate me replacing him with his mortal enemy for 1 week, he agreed to come back on the podcast for episode 4, where he thought me and Smokey would apologize to him and tell the whole world that we had been trolled.
It's okay, folks. So in case anybody's not clear exactly what's about to happen, after those past few incidents, Bowser went on the show with Kiwi Tapes there, the guy talking now, the host Kiwi Tapes, and basically got called out, embarrassed, exposed for all of his crimes and misdeeds. And they managed to convince him that they actually had it wrong, that somebody misled them into believing that he was a bad guy, and that they were going to apologize to him on air. And they were going to apologize to him and explain how they got it wrong. So that's what Bowser is expecting to happen when he goes on air. And this is what happened instead.
As soon as we start the show, it's very obvious Bowser is suspicious, demanding to know just how Smokey had been trolled.
Hi, Smokey.
Bowser, bro, I'm genuinely so sorry for calling you a predator, bro.
Okay. I like to hear that.
I am too.
Yeah. I'm sorry for accusing you of having
thank you, Blondie.
Underage kids in your Discord.
Okay.
Like, I was totally wrong on that one, right? There's no one under 18 in there. I know that for a fact, right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
Welcome in, Terrell. Glad you can make it tonight. Gorl World's a bit slow this week, so I'm covering a new character, the White Bowser. We've had a pretty good intro. Hopefully you can catch it up from where we are now, but he's a bit of a creep. It's a bit much to explain, but just listen along and hopefully we can catch you back up. Let me get this playing again. All right.
Okay.
Oh, and thank you to everybody who's come in. My apologies if I missed anybody. Thank you to all the chatters. Thank you to all the lurkers. And thank you to everybody watching the replay. Appreciate it very much. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and make sure you click that bell if you want to be reminded when I go live.
Okay.
The irony of this whole episode is lost on Bowser. He thought that we were there to clear his name and say that we were sorry. It could not have been farther from the truth. And after an hour of Bowser smugly thinking that he was in the clear, Smokey let him know just what he thought of him.
Bowser, earlier I apologized to you for being a predator, and that was my mistake for calling you that. I should have never called you a predator. What I should have called you was a predatory groper, a pedophile. There's a lot of things I could have called you that I didn't call you. And
he's gone.
Wow.
Bowser left the show, but he didn't block me, so it gave me hope we'd have a new episode next week. Everyone else believed the same, until I received a message directly from the White Bowser. Hello, Kiwi. As of today, I am blocking you on Discord, and the 110 Autism podcast is ending.
Aww.
I was visited today by a private investigator who had to take a report on how you and the trolls are trying your best to criminalize me. The investigator assured me I did nothing wrong and that you and the trolls have no life and no idea how the law works.
The investigator assured him the trolls have no life. I'm not sure how the investigator investigated the trolls, but...
This has officially gone too far. You harassing me is one thing. You harass the state and the law, that's another thing. Now, the police took a statement from me on the whole situation. If you trolls continue to harass the police, they will open a case against you. And Smokey, and you will be prosecuted. Especially Smokey. He has no idea what area he is treading into. Lying about accusations that will ruin someone's life and then bothering and harassing the police about it, I'd like to see what YouTube would say about that to Smokey and your YouTube.
Well, do you feel threatened after reading this? I mean, this reads like something that was written. I'm surprised Bowser wrote this. I thought this was written by a lawyer or maybe even a Supreme Court justice, because it's just so legally binding. Yeah, this looks like it was written by a middle schooler trying to threaten another middle schooler that his dad is a lawyer and is gonna sue him. Yeah, I'm not shaking in my boots at all.
YouTube channels. I am not a pedophile. I am not a child predator. And now that the police are involved because of the trolls, this will be the end of our communication.
Yes, Oranges. I have a feeling Chantel would play. And you know something? I feel like this guy is Chantel's type too. Like he's not too fat. He's very easily manipulated. He's happy for the attention of any kind of woman. I think that he and Chantel would get along. He's a little bit like Pete. He likes his ponies.
Forever. The trolls officially ruined it, Kiwi, and the law is involved now. I was told I did nothing wrong. Case open, case closed. The case will be reopened if the police keep getting harassed, then you and Smokey can kiss your YouTube careers goodbye. So with this, you are blocked, Kiwi. This is the end of our communication. Bowser was not joking. Right after this, he blocked me, not even letting me respond. After this, he would go on a campaign of slander and misinformation against Smokey, and to a much smaller degree, myself. This would also be the beginning of Earl making his so-called apology videos, that every time would have the opposite effect of an apology. Earl might have been busy, but I promise you the people looking into him were busier, uncovering new things by the day. This is when Smokey and myself had an idea of our own. We would start our own show and do it at the exact same time as the old one, so that way we knew Bowser was free and that he could join whenever he was ready to come back. That was the birth of Too High for Stupid, a show that me and Smokey still run every Saturday at 6:30 Eastern Time. And for our very first episode, we had something special in the works. Someone had told Earl that the apology videos he had been making were working, and me and Smokey wanted to watch one with him so that we could prove to the whole community Bowser had changed. I have no idea why.
I'm actually going to fast forward just a little bit because this part here doesn't really add too much. We're going to go to the next...
A server with over 1,000...
Here we go.
Sometimes I play chess with them. It's an anime.
Segues great into what we'd like to discuss next.
Here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
The,
Go ahead.
the liquid Chris stream from the other night, where
Mm-hmm.
he made allegations of you like presenting cartoon porn to minors.
Yes.
Actually,
This is the allegation.
these are just allegations.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some questions regarding it.
Okay.
In this secret server, or this alleged secret server. I apologize.
It's not a secret server. It's
We finally get the truth as to what Earl Doob was showing in the server.
Discord server. It's an anime Discord server. And here's something I want to clear up for the audience in general here. I quite clearly cannot be a pedophile if I own a Discord server with minors in it who I do not prey upon, who I only converse and talk. You guys have to understand something. If you're going to label someone as a pedophile just because they talk to kids in a private Discord server, that's like labeling any public school teacher as a pedophile.
There you go.
In the same way, because they're in a classroom with a bunch of kids. You know what I mean?
That is airtight logic. I don't think you can argue that, can you?
You can't make you can't make that correlation. All I'm doing is talking to these minors about school. Sometimes I play chess with them. We have a chess chess channel on our anime Discord server as well, and we talk about One Piece primarily, and Attack on Titan, and even Chainsaw Man came up lately in the anime Discord server too. So I'm just, and sometimes I talk with these kids about school. So I'm not doing anything illegal with these kids. I'm just talking with them. That's what a teacher does in a classroom, basically. So
yeah, he's just what a teacher does in a classroom, basically. He just watches like videos with them and talks like a teacher, you know, like when you were a kid in class, you would watch a video in class. How is this any different? Same thing, right? He's like a teacher, but he's not even getting paid. He's better than a teacher because a teacher only does it because they get a salary. He's doing it for free. He's better than a teacher. He cares more about the kids.
So you can't call me.
I'm being sarcastic, by the way, in case you can't tell. I'm being very much sarcastic.
A predator.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, my question was from the beginning, were there minors in your server? So,
and I said yes, there were.
All right.
There are allegations. I'm seeing a lot of that you streamed hentai in this server. What's that about? Did you do this?
Only once.
A server with over 1,000 members. Not a crime in and of itself, but what was going on there was a different story. See, the Discord contained many minors, the lowest being confirmed at 14. We know this because every person in the server had a tag displaying their age. As I said previously, Bowser owned this server, running it.
I didn't, that's a detail I didn't realize. I didn't remember that detail. Apparently in this server, not only were there minors, but you know, there's always, you never know, there might be some kid somewhere who lies about their age, but they knew they were kids because they had their ages listed. It's not like the kids said they were, 25 and you didn't know. They said, yeah, I'm a kid.
It under the name Daddy Butcher. During this interview, he talked about how him and his team of moms.
Yeah, 1,000 members? That's actually a pretty good sized server, to be fair. I mean, a lot of those accounts might have just been people who clicked and were spammers and stuff. But I mean, if that was 1,000 active members, that was a big community.
Mods would reward these children by showing them illicit materials if they finished their homework. Many of these images either including gore, if mods, Butcher. During this interview, he talked about how him and his team of mods would reward these children by showing them illicit materials if they finished their homework.
Wow.
Many of these images either including gore or sex. Earl was heavily involved in these activities, stating on numerous occasions that he sent some of this NSFW content to children. He would also
See, okay, now let's be serious for a second here. I've been laughing, but in my opinion, I think this guy's much worse than Cyraxx because he's actually interacting with kids. He's actually doing it, and he's presenting. He's sharing obscene material. He's done it. There's proof that he's done it. He denies it. He lies. He watches all these perverted shows. I mean, Cyraxx is a creep, but he's also like too dumb and too out of it to actually act on his desires very effectively. This guy is calculating. He's not smart, but he's calculating. He's got a cunning to him.
tell us how he caught one of his mods grooming a member of the server, and he did nothing about it. The Discord revelations would be damning for Bowser.
Lock
The
him up.
almost shameless view of the whole situation really irked the public, and realizing this, he cut off contact with almost everyone, spending the next couple months making video diaries and playing Genshin Impact, all while me and Smokey were...
You know, when I imagine that when Pete plays his online games, that he's playing them against this guy. Like, I have a feeling this guy and Pete's are like best friends online. You can't tell me they're not. Like, I've got a feeling that they play each other like they're like best pals on the internet. Like, they both play pony games together.
Continuing to put on Too High for Stupid every Saturday, trying to get Earl to return. Getting close, but never quite there. Until eventually we expected he would never be back on the show, but boy were we wrong. It was the beginning of May 2023, and Earl's birthday was coming up. Being as everyone knew where he lived, someone decided they would send him a birthday clown to cheer him up. The birthday clown had received specific instructions to live stream the whole encounter. The clown was not in on this. He thought that he was hired by a long-distance friend to cheer up a buddy who was depressed. And as the unknowing clown knocks on the door with a huge smile on his face, something completely unexpected happens.
Okay, it's interesting. They hired a clown.
How you doing?
Speak.
Go ahead and speak, sir.
Hey, happy birthday! We just want to say happy birthday. What?
She just closed and locked the door.
Earl's mom almost immediately slammed the door in the birthday clown's face and promptly locked it behind her. This is the first and only glimpse of his mother to date. When Bowser was told exactly what had happened from his mother, he decided to unblock both me and Smokey to send us the same message. Hey look, I've come to deliver a message, the same one to Smokey and Kiwi. Your people are coming to my house now. People or strangers with face paint and worse coming to my house and harassing my mother. This is no longer funny anymore. It is no longer a prank. Real people are in danger here. I don't think you want blood on your hands. You are internet trolls, clearly. But you don't want people dead, do you? My mother was lucky enough that they only had a cell phone on them this time. Next time they could have a gun or a knife on them. Next time my mother might have her life put in danger when they are at my...
He lives with his mom. As far as I know, his father hasn't been in his life. At least for a long time. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's something I'm not in favor of. I mean, people are going to do what people are going to do, but I discourage people from sending anybody to anybody's house. You're putting people at risk. Potentially somebody could lose their lives. It's not worth it for a joke. So I'm not in favor of that kind of stuff personally. Even though I am laughing here, I'm not in favor of it.
My door. This is a warning. I have told the police to make frequent checks at my house crossroads. If people show up to my door again just to scare me, they will be arrested and they will be prosecuted. And if you are found to be in league with them, you will be punished severely. This all started with your false accusations about pedophilia, Smokey. Now, I have made mistakes. I groped a woman by accident. I showed hentai to teenagers. Yeah, I know it is messed up. You can call me a degenerate all you want for that, but once my mother's life is in danger, you cross the line. I have never groomed kids and never preyed upon minors. I am not a pedophile. And now that my mother is being harassed by your gang, I am done playing around. So if you don't want people to get hurt or worse, realize this. This is no longer funny. It is no longer some sort of sick prank. My life and my mother's life were put in danger yesterday. If you have
Yes,
any
he
sort
is
of
ridiculous.
conscience, you will end this charade and stop the madness. I know you're an asshole, and my psychiatrist and I agree that you're a dipshit, but you do not want people's blood on your hands. I have my doubts, but if you are full-blown psychopaths, then I still don't think you want any of this. And I...
All right, he just kind of rambles here. Did they threaten his mom? No. They sent a clown, a birthday clown, to his house. The guy knocked on the door and said he was a clown, and the mother told him to leave and lock the door. So, so maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, they certainly didn't threaten her. That's for sure. They inconvenienced her. I'll say that. They annoyed her. But yeah. That's also just why I don't like to moralize too much. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm certainly don't do anything like that, obviously, but but this guy's a creep. I have no problem saying that. I don't like to judge people too much, but I will say this about this guy. He's a creepazoid. Yes, and it is all gaslighting. It is all gaslighting because mother was not threatened. It's like when it's just like when Chantel accuses Marty of swatting. There was no swatting, Chantel. Marty called in a wellness check on you, whether it was for good reasons or not. It was not a swatting. And I think that's a fair point, Oranges. It's not everybody has the opportunity to have, all both parents in their life, but it doesn't mean that they can't have a good childhood. You can be the best parent you can be, and that can be enough. In Bowser's case, unfortunately, things didn't work out. I'm not going to say where they didn't work out because I don't know where, but they
I
didn't.
do not want my mother's life or my... Tell the truth and stop putting my life and my mother's life in...
This life and danger stuff is just so absurd, but a lot of people on the internet do that, where they say everything is putting their life in danger. It could be anything.
Danger. I am blocking you again. This is a... Again, blaming both of us for the actions of others, and again blocking us before we could respond. At this point, almost every aspect of his personal life was available on the internet. People knew where he lived, people knew where he worked, and people knew the location of his greatest sins. People were more than happy to tell his church and his job everything that he had done online and in...
See, the church thing, I don't like bothering the church, but telling the church, that's weird. Like, you shouldn't get between somebody and their church, but at the same time, he's not being honest to his church. Do they know that he's watching all this weird crap? And it's not like he watches it in secret and nobody, he's sharing it with other people and he's proud of it. And he's just a weirdo.
In the past. They would also tell the police, who would frequently be called to Earl's house for wellness checks. At this point, Bowser was really feeling the heat, and he'd do almost anything to take some of it off. He closed his Discord server full of grooming and minors. He also makes another terrible apology video where he continues to insult and dox his victim. We were able to convince
Bowser... Oh, it's nothing about
that
Bowser. He's always doxing people. He's always doxing anybody who's ever known him, who's ever helped him, who's ever done anything with him. He's always giving out people's personal information. I guess because his information is all online, he's just bitter and he gives out everybody else's information all the time.
This was another one of those videos that had changed the public's mind, and they wanted to hear the truth from him directly. He agreed, thinking that he was on the right track to being forgiven. And during the 12th episode of Too High for Stupid, Bowser would continue to dig his...
And also, Bowser's a moron because he keeps going back on this internet podcast every time saying, oh, well, I want to apologize and I hope everything will be better this time. And they're like, yeah, just come on the show and we'll forgive you. And he keeps going back on. And every time he goes on there, all they do is give him a hard time. And he deserves it, but why does he keep falling for it?
Hole deeper.
I said I wanted to solve it. Like, yesterday was really stressful. Yesterday was very, very stressful for me. Very stressful. So I just wanted to chill and play chess today. But but if you just want to solve this within 30 minutes so I can get back to chess, that's fine.
What has your life been like recently? Just describe it to everybody.
I've been stressed with the harassment. I have. I haven't liked the harassment. No, I haven't. I mean, the packages are fine.
You know, Camps. I think that's why he thinks everybody else is so stupid, because it's that, what do they call it? The Dunning-Kruger effect, where somebody who's not that smart thinks everybody else is not that smart either. They think that they're smarter than everybody else. I don't remember how it works exactly, but that's what he's got going on, where he's not that bright and he thinks everybody else is dumber than him. He thinks he's outsmarting people all the time.
And all, but
Can we talk about the packages and stuff, bro? I heard people have been sending you some crazy shit.
I guess.
I heard people have been sending you ceiling fans.
No, I have not got a ceiling fan.
Really? I heard. Yeah, I've been hearing rumors of people have been sending you ceiling fans. I thought that was really, really wrong.
No. Okay. I mean, a few days ago, I got a satanic booklet shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That server was also horribly moderated. I didn't even support.
No kidding.
I didn't even support half the stuff that the teenagers or kids posted in that server.
Do you hear this? Now he's blaming the kids on the server for posting the obscene material. Do you hear that? Let's rerun that.
Half the stuff that I didn't even support.
No kidding.
I didn't even support half the stuff that the teenagers or kids posted in that server.
Then why did you own it? It just doesn't make sense.
Because it was given to me.
But it's like, why would you want to be associated with that?
The original owner of the server gave the server to me to own, and I probably should have declined.
I see. There's a whole lot to explain. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a point on the server where I gave someone a warning for posting anime gore, and I took down the post, and then I gave that person a warning, and I said, listen, here's what we post on the server. Boom. Ecchi, boom, ecchi, boom, ecchi, boom, anime ecchi. This is what we post on the server. We don't post nude gore. And I got really mad about that because I didn't appreciate that being posted on the server.
Okay, so I understand, because like you're saying it's the gore that's, because I know there were pictures, like people had screenshots.
Oh, he says that. No gore, just edgy. Edgy. No gore.
People sending like actual nudity and all that. So that was
okay, but those were just cartoons. I know that's a meme now. One of the horny teenagers in the anime server, I was so pissed off when he shared it in the server.
Blames the kids.
He posted AI art generated server. I immediately took it down. I immediately deleted it, and I immediately banned him from the server. And then after that, I posted that image right there. But like, I was so pissed off when that person did that in the anime. You have to understand, these were all horny, stupid teenagers. They were stupid. They really didn't know what they were doing.
I could not tell you why, but Bowser agreed to return the very next week because he was going to make another apology video, this time discussing all of the Discord revelations. And Bowser would return next week, but not for anything regarding the Discord he owned. Another massive piece of information had been uncovered. This information had Earl so scared he was practically begging to come on our show and explain himself. You see, someone had contacted the coworker that the White Bowser had groped. They were able to find her because Earl had used not only her full legal name, but her sister's full legal name throughout his videos dozens of times. And after getting in contact with his victim, she would reveal that at the time, she was 17 years old.
That's right. The girl that he groped at the movie theater, because he kept giving out her name and information. Somebody tracked her down, contacted her, and she said that she was a minor at the time. That's right. Of all the ones that he manages to grope, he manages to grab the one who's under 18. What a coincidence, right? Yes, and oranges. Yeah. I've got a feeling that he probably let the other one on. You know that he's saving it for himself in his spank bank.
Earl was 28 at the time. And when we told Earl that we are going to reveal all of this information on the next episode of Too High for Stupid, he was more than happy to join us. And during episode 13, he continued the pattern of incriminating himself.
Get this, everyone. I was lied to on multiple occasions. If you guys all remember, the twin sister of the sister who the accidental groping that I did on one of the girls.
He just keeps sticking to that accidental groping stuff. How do you accidentally grope? I mean, I'm not going to ask, because I'm sure somebody could posit a theory, but it's just nobody's buying that crap, Earl. Nobody believes it was an accident. Nobody ever believed it was an accident. You keep saying it, but it doesn't change anything. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing that he thinks people are really going to believe him.
Her twin sister lied to me on multiple occasions about her age. And I can't say for certain if she did this because she was infatuated with me or not. You guys might remember the confession video. I said that one of my coworkers, the twin sister of the sister who I assaulted, I thought she had a crush on me, but before the accident, and she certainly acted like it. There was gossip in the workplace around the time. There was a lot of gossip in the workplace around the time, and that's why I assumed it. But she lied to me on multiple occasions about her age, and it were those lies. It were those lies that led me to believe that her and her sister were at or above the age of 18.
I love how he says that. Well, you know what, Bowser? That might be relevant. If you didn't grab her without her consent, it might be relevant that you thought she was an adult if it was a consensual thing. That might be relevant.
And it turns out, no, that was wrong. And I am now more ashamed than ever to hear the truth come out, a truth I never knew. So no, it turns out that I'll say it. No, it turns out I groped a minor.
Well, I think someone from your past is here, Earl.
All right, here he is.
I'm gonna mute.
The Wrangler.
Yeah, the Wrangler. Oh, and I'm going to say this because the show, we're still going to run till the end of it, but just want to mention before I forget, if anybody enjoys this show, if you want to hear some best of clips, go look up Cow Wrangler versus White Bowser for some really great calls where Wrangler just goes off on Bowser for like 30 minutes straight.
Earl, I'm not going to lie.
Well,
like,
no, say your piece, dude. Say your piece.
My piece is that at first I thought that you're just kind of a piece of shit, but maybe it'd be one of those things where it's only surface level. But it seems like the deeper we go and we look at you, the worse it gets. It's like every time, just as people are about to go and forget about you, something way worse comes out. I mean, really, man. Really. 17.
I had no idea.
Okay, why does that... that doesn't even really matter as much as 5 seconds of touching her and just sitting there like a dumbass. You keep dropping doxes on random people who are involved with the situation, who are just trying to live their regular lives.
I'm done dropping doxes.
Okay, but you did it beforehand, and you're only upset now because you're getting in trouble for it. And people are saying, hey, that's kind of fucked up. Maybe you shouldn't bring up these random people when you're being looked at as like a pedophile.
No, that's a good point, Grateful Life. That's a good point. I guess I wasn't against notifying the church. I'd be against like bothering the church, but informing them, I'm not against that. I'm not against them informing them. But like if they were like crank calling them and stuff like that, that's what I would be against. But just telling them and informing them, I'm not against that. Welcome, Toys R Us kid.
It's a little rough, buddy. It's a little rough.
No, you're right. It's rough. You really are being very aggressive right now. I don't appreciate that.
I don't like pedophiles. That is why.
I'm not a pedophile. I've done.
You are a pedophile.
No, I am
We've
not.
established that you are. You even said that you have pedophilic tendencies.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm
Hey,
not.
Bowser, can I ask you a question?
I'm not attracted to kids.
Bowser, that other Discord server you had, were any of the other quote unquote daddies caught talking to the minors or anything?
Yeah, and I had to stop them.
But they were.
Yeah, I had to stop them. Yeah.
So you said, right, that you're not the only quote unquote daddy in the server with the minors, but there are other people in there who have the same label as you were caught talking to the minors in a sexual way.
And I had to stop them. Yes.
But like Cow Wrangler just brought up, you said you were rarely in there.
Well, there were some times when I had to put a stop to some of the kids, some of the adults flirting with some of the kids.
He always, no, every time he tells the story, it changes. But you know what doesn't change? He always manages to make himself into the hero. The first time, it was nothing was going on. Then it became, well, the kids were the ones who were putting the obscene material. You know, it wasn't my fault. Now it's, well, some of the other people on there were harassing the youngsters, but I put a stop to that. I was making sure that nothing bad happened. No matter how he tells the story, he always manages to twist it around and try to make himself look good, but it doesn't really work.
Yes.
because you made an environment where that felt appropriate.
That's why I deleted the server.
No, you deleted it because you were caught.
Earl, when this started, all I thought you were was a guy who, well, I knew you were a guy who groped a girl, and from the jump, I always thought you were a pedophile. And as this is going on, more and more evidence, seemingly by the week, has come out to further, like, harden that stance. This is this is
Yeah, it's not healthy for me.
healthy. It's not healthy for your victims.
I'm not going to hurt anyone ever again.
I don't trust that for a second, bro.
I
don't trust that for a goddamn second.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Well, you can start by not dragging people's names across the internet, because I know that the young lady who you did assault as a minor is probably very upset that she has to relive this whole situation over and over again because you doxed her full name.
That's another thing, Kiwi. Remember, you said that she apologized to you, and those texts that someone got with her, bro. She did not apologize to you. She wants nothing to do with you. She's even thinking about filing a restraining order. And you tried to come on here and say everything's water under the bridge. You keep saying it's the movie theater's fault. It's her sister's fault. Cow Wrangler, every time they brought up something, you tried to trail it off onto another.
Oh, and anybody just coming in also, Toys R Us kid, anybody else? It's a bit of a slow week in Gorl World, so I'm doing a little show about a different character here, the White Bowser. It's a bit of a detailed story, so you have to watch it from the beginning. But anybody watching the replay, I hope you've enjoyed this. And please click like and subscribe if you were enjoying the content.
Topic. You do this all the time, Bowser, and that's why
I really don't want to be here anymore.
Bowser, you don't. Maybe you don't want to be here, but the fact of the matter is this, bro. We got donations to read, so you better sit your ass right there.
No, I'm leaving.
No,
we
Bowser,
got tons of donos to
Bowser,
read.
Wow, wow.
I can't believe they almost convinced him to stay again. That's the best thing. This guy's such an idiot. And yeah, Oranges, it's unfortunate, but it does seem to be that way. It really does. There's just not a lot of hope for those folks.
It only took him an hour and a half of interrogation by not only me and Smokey, but Cow Wrangler and Zippy for Earl to realize just what was going on. Defeated, he left the show, to go right back to his old habit of playing video games and making terrible apology videos, but this time with a whole different tune.
Like, if you think you're... I'm sorry. You think... sorry. You think you'll find validation, like you think you're some sort of vigilante. You are surrounding yourself with the most negative and the most abhorrent of acts.
Oh, Bowser's still around, by the way. I don't want to spoil the ending. There's only another minute or two, but I'll give you folks an update on where he is.
And then you find joy in it. All I can feel from this experience about talking about pedophiles, all I can feel is disgust. All I can feel is an absolute sick taste in my mouth. Meanwhile, I look at Joe Schmo over here, and he's like having the time of his life insulting pedophiles and predators. Me, I can't even bear to look the same way. I want to run away. I want to run away from it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to spend my time or my energy finding joy in being a vigilante on the internet. No. I don't laugh about it. I don't cry about it.
That is a little bit odd. TNC Surf Design and Skate or Die. Oh my goodness. I actually played TC Surf Design. I remember you could, I want to say you could play as the gorilla. I don't know if you could play as the gorilla, but I remember there was the gorilla on the cover, and they had like the surfing stages, and then they had like the skateboard stages where you could jump and try to jump over the stuff. It was, I remember it being hard, but every Nintendo game was like crazy hard back when I was a little kid. So they're still pretty hard though, from my understanding. But yes, Toys R Us is where I got my first games too. I used to get Commodore 64 games when I was a really little kid. My parents got them. I didn't even pick them out. My parents picked them out. But then we got Toys R Us games as well. Toys R Us Nintendo games.
I run away from it. Just talk. You see, do you hear me right now? Just talking about all this. Just talking about all this stupid shit puts me in sick pain. It makes me so sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick talking about this sick shit. About the anime Discord server. There are some people on there you should know about. The first person you should know about is Hazar, hashtag 1636. He was the original owner of the server.
Okay, this is actually the one thing that Earl Bowser did, and he only did this under a lot of pressure. He said he closed the server, and people said, "Well, why won't you share the names of the creeps on the server who were the causing the problems?" And for a long time, he refused to provide it. I guess now he did, but there's been rumors going around that these are not real people. He just made these names up just to get people off his back. So who knows?
The original one who created the NSFW channel there. The one who transferred the ownership to me. And he was also the one who propagated the spread of anime NSFW content on the server. Or hentai, for that matter. Now, I am also guilty of showing hentai on that server.
And that's where we leave the story today, folks. The White Bowser was uncovered to be what he truly was. A 30-year-old man who showed NSFW content to minors, owned a Discord server where grooming actively happened, and groped his underage coworker. He may have changed his name to Night from Afar, but no matter how far he runs, he cannot hide from the truth.
Well, I think that Bowser is worse than Rax, in my opinion. I really do. Okay. Does anybody want to see an ALR vid? You just want to cut it a little bit early. I'm a little bit tired. I think we're just going to end it now because I'm a little bit tired. And the ALR vid's not even that exciting anyway. And I'm also going to be planning to do like a special relating more to health. So I can kind of do like this weekly silly comedy content. I want to keep doing this. But I also want to get back to focusing a little more on health as well. And I'd like to do like a special, maybe once a month or something, maybe on the weekends, dedicated just to health and nutrition and news on that type of subject, on what's new about getting people healthy and helping to lose weight and all of that. So I kind of want to do that too. I think that would be a good second show. Hopefully people might enjoy that. If not, it at least lets me get that separate from this. All right, folks. Thank you, everybody who's come by. It's been a pleasure, everybody, always. I love having you here. I had a great time. Thank you for coming. I will see you all next week, I hope. Maybe see you even before then. All right, everyone. Be blessed. Have a great night. And stay away from creeps like Earl Doob and Bowser. And you know what? And if you're a parent, make sure your kids on the internet are not hanging around weirdos like that guy. Because that's really the only way to be to stop someone like that. Got to be vigilant. Really got to be vigilant. All right. On that note, be blessed. Good night, everyone.